How's Abella not S tier? She just needs a bit more pizzazz. She needs a bit of swagger. She needs X factor. She's very good, but not great. I'd like to see her try a bit harder. I'd like to see her push a bit more. She can make it, but she just needs that little bit of effort. What we're doing today is we're doing a tier list. Fear and Hunger Termina contestant tier list, right? Am I going to explain why I'm making characters the tier that they are? Sometimes not. Caligura S tier, everyone else D tier. I was going to do that, but then I thought, well, this segment will be over in like 30 seconds. We do have to put our boy in S tier. It's Caligura. Where else is he gonna go? Not only does he have the best dialogue options to intimidate, he's just really cool, handsome, fashionable, brave, he's smart, tough, and all things considered, probably the canon winner of the festival. He's just a 5-star package all around. Handsome is a strong word. It's a strong word for a strong man. But let's go alphabetically for the rest of them, shall we? Okay, Abella. Now, we all like a big, strong woman, don't we? She's tall, she's a handsome woman, she's buff, she's caked up, and she can throw a mean wrench. I'm tempted to put her in S tier as well. But I feel that she's just a little not as interesting as she could be. You know, she has the side plot with the rebels. I think that she's just missing a little bit of spark, you know? She's almost there, but not quite. So I'm gonna put her in A for Abella. So August. I feel like he's in the similar situation to Abella. No other character actually has a bow, do they? He's going to be the only one with a bow. And he does have drip. I think I'm going to put him on A as well. And you know, when he does the parkour, that's probably one of the coolest things in the game. Did you guys see that clip where he's by the gate at the start and he jumps over and then he gives you a wink? It's awesome, just awesome. He's a little bit of a Mary Sue, but I think he's stylish enough to pull it off. So I think he's solid A tier. What do you guys reckon? Where should Dan go? D for Dan tier. Dan is a handsome fellow. I like how he looks. I like his twist during the story. I love it. His abilities are insane. Analyze carried me all the way through the logic ending until the very end where it doesn't work on logic. I'm tempted to put him in S tier just for Analyze, because Analyze is insanely good. And he's interesting as well. Like, you know, he's a bit deep, mysterious, brooding. He can whip up a mean drink. And he's got ties to Needles and Stitches of the Sulfur Cult story. So he's sort of got everything. Dan is great, but he's fucked. He is. And that's one of the things I like as well. It like when he transforms, you realize just how fucked up he is. It's awesome. If you have member guide, you can res free, and that's good too. He's got good exploits as well. So it's always a good character when there's neat exploits. So I might actually put him in S tier. I think I'm gonna do it. Henrik F for food. Ooh, he is interesting, but we simply don't know enough about him now to make a good call on how interesting he is. I do like how he transforms into the gentleman. I'm gonna say C. I'm gonna say C tier. Henrik doesn't have a ton going on, but he does have that scene. Oh, that's a good point. He does have that scene. I'm going to bump him up to B tier because he has one special scene later on in the game that's hard to trigger. Must ruin the surprise that Henrik is Shogun. Oh, don't say it. Don't spoil it. No spoilers, guys. Come on. Yeah, that's what I was talking about yesterday. I'm like, Henrik just shows up, transforms, and the town is like, yeah, okay, you can be the mayor. It's because he's just a gentleman. So they're like, well, of course he's a mayor. Don't get why people like Karen a ton. She's always just been mayor. I'm one of those people that really likes her, and I don't know why. If you get Persuade and Diplomacy really early, they're fantastic abilities. Just awesome. So I'm going to say she's at least A tier, just for that. I'm gonna put her just a bit above August because I like how much thought has been put into her character, and she's not extreme in any way, like, you know, compared to Caligura or any of the others, really. She cares deeply about the soldiers that she sees in the battlefield, so much so that when she transforms, she becomes a Valkyrie. She's one of the people who's probably most interested in figuring out what the fuck is going on. I really like her design, actually. I think it's one of my favorite designs out of the cast, even though it's nice and simple. You like killing her, that's what. You don't like I do like killing her. I like killing her quickly and easily. Bad mum Karen. Mummy Karen, no! We're not doing this. Okay, so Levi. I really like how much he perfectly encapsulates the whole vibe of the games. Because he's child soldier, just absolutely miserable and ground to a pulp. Good chance of getting heroin addiction. And he just runs away and hides the entire time when you're trying to find him and almost gets beaten to death. To play as him fucking sucks. I hate playing as him. Yeah, the heroin addiction is just tough, man. It's tough. And I didn't find his abilities all that useful. I'm going to bump him down to just below Karen. Yeah, so Marco. He is a little bit boring. His abilities are pretty cool. I don't think he's that boring, but compared to the other characters, it's not as interesting, is it? I love his interactions with Olivia and Tanaka. That really bumps him up to A tier, low A tier for me. Him and Tanaka boxing is one of my favorite scenes in the whole game. It's amazing. But then I don't like his abilities all that much. I do think they're a bit, they're good. Like they're objectively good, but I just think they're a bit boring. So everybody's favorite witch, Marina, or technically she's the occultist, isn't she? I don't like her personality as much as other people seem to. I think it's just a little bit annoying for me. And her abilities, I'm not really that fond of. She's got a great design. She has some neat scenes, but honestly, I'm just not a big fan. Marina, I think I'm actually gonna put her on the top of B tier, TBH, because yeah, I'm just not that fussed with her, to be honest. Okay, Olivia. She is a cutie patootie, and I love the fact that she has a wheelchair and can't go upstairs and gets knocked out of it. I'm gonna say S. I'm gonna say that's a clean S tier for me. Clean. I like how big her weaknesses are. I think that's really interesting for a character in a game like this to have such ridiculous weaknesses. She can literally get knocked out of her chair in the middle of a fight. That's amazing. Not my absolute favorite, but a very good, very solid character. I really like her. She should be at the bottom of the list, and she can't climb the tiers. You know, some roguelike survival games like to have a handicapped character that is just made for masochists. Yeah, I feel like Olivia is a bit of a bait and switch because she feels like a bit of a masochist character. It's like, oh, she's in a wheelchair, she gets knocked out of it, she can't climb stairs, and she's a botanist. What is she going to do in Termina? What the hell is she going to do? When you start gathering the right stuff up and you start playing properly and you start using her head, she's actually really, really good. So, Osar. The lad himself, Osar. Where do we put him? He does have what is arguably the best ability in the game, Dance Macabre, and I'm tempted to put him in S tier just for that ability. He has some good scenes. He has the best intro. He has Nashra, the best companion. You know what I'm going to do, and you guys probably aren't going to like this. I think he's a little bit of a Mary Sue. Like, what are his weaknesses? What is Osar's weakness? He's a loner. That doesn't count. He has Nashra. Well, that's not really a weakness. I think he is just a little bit too strong. I think just changing his personality a bit, making him like a bit of a bastard, which would fit more in with the Yellow Mage sort of idea, because they're all backstabbers. And you don't get that vibe at all from him. It's like, well, he's just a nice guy. He doesn't want to join up with you until he has to. But he's just got too much going for him. He needs to be reined in a bit. I'm going to put Osar in middle A tier. Yeah, so Pav, I love Pav. I'm going to put him, I think he's easy high A tier. He's a bit of a bastard. He's handsome, fashionable. He's driven for a cause. He's still a bastard. Got great abilities. I might put him in S tier, actually, now that I think about it. I think the only thing I don't like about him right now is that he's not playable. And, you know, there's not much more to say about him. He's just cool, and I like him. Okay, so Samari. I'm going to put her in C tier. I don't like her. Don't like her. I think she's overrated. Her abilities are cool, but she only has 2 of them. She doesn't have a full kit yet. Oh, you know what? I'll bump her up to B. Because she does get a bit interesting. Sam is interesting, but I think the biggest issue is just she doesn't have enough if you don't play as Marina. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, she's like really interlinked with Marina, and that's interesting stuff, but it's like, I'm not that into Marina. I don't think she's that interesting, and then in turn, I don't think the Samari stuff is that interesting. It just falls a little bit flat for me. And I think that's just a personal thing, because other people seem to like it. So, you know, I'm not saying it needs to be changed or anything, it just doesn't click with me. I think Sam being playable will make her much more interesting, but another issue is I do not think she works as being playable. At the moment, she doesn't, because she doesn't have any abilities. You know, she's just got masturbation and blood sacrifice, and it's like, yeah, they're really useful, but it's like, well, what else can she do? When Samari is playable, you have to masturbate once every few screens or she dies. There's some sort of debuff like Levi masturbation withdrawal. I love the Everyman. I think I'm going to put him on low S tier because of that. I love Everyman characters. I think they're great. I like that his abilities are just stat increases. Like, that's ballsy to have a character that's just that. And I like how many interactions he has, all the different unique interactions. Like he can die like 3 different times, 3 different ways before he gets to the city. That could be like, try not to die challenge. Impossible. Wish he didn't die so much. Yeah, poor Tanaka, but that's, you know, that's what you get for being an everyman in Pre-Heval, right? You get chewed up and spat out. Okay, let's go back over this. Caligura, top tier, obviously, for obvious reasons. I feel like I want Abella to be a little bit lower because I think her character is just too bland, but her abilities are just so good. The wrench trial assist is cracked. Mao doesn't dare to give worse scores than SAB. Well, that's the thing. None of these characters, I don't dislike any of the characters more than this. That's the thing. There's no character that I actively dislike. I think Orange did a pretty good job in balancing the character traits out. I think there's some that could definitely be improved for sure, and I'm not shy about saying that. But there's nobody that I dislike at all. We have a tier list. Now we just need a kiss, marry, kill list. What do you reckon, guys? Do you hate my list? I think it's a pretty good list. Do you guys hate it? It's okay. Marina's too low. No. You know, I'll have to do another tier list once we get all the playable contestants, and we can reevaluate.